Hello guys. Well, welcome back to another oh shoot. Is my makeup really? To another video by Maria World Productions. Yes, I'm back again. I know I've been making videos like non-stop this week. It's like actually really fun. Today you read the title. We're gonna be doing conspiracy theories. You know, these ones are actually pretty cool, and I heavily enjoy them, and I hope you guys will enjoy them too. Now, let's get into the Disney theories. We have my computer here. Wait, I just have some technical difficulties. Just wait a second.
So a lot of these theories, the game theory explains it a lot more than I do, so I'll put a link to that video. But what we have first up for the Disney theories is that the evil queen in Snow White is the same in Rapunzel. And most of the reasons why people believe this one is because her first time at trying to destroy the life of a conventionally attractive girl was with Snow White. And then, like, since she's a witch, like, it's likely that she didn't die at the end. And she came back to have a second shot with another conventionally attractive female, which, if you really think about it that way, it kind of makes sense a little bit. Okay, this next one, that Elsa is Rapunzel's sister and not Anna's sister. Now, this one, basically, what they say is that Mother Gothel, or the witch from Snow White, what she did was she went, trying to find another person, another victim, and she happened to come across this castle, and she went and she saw two babies, and she decided to kidnap one baby because, like, she didn't want to get caught, and it was in the middle of the night and all that stuff. And then, in that scene where the queen wakes up and she's like, oh no, my baby's gone and things like that. Yeah, that, the explanation for why Elsa doesn't know about this is because they most likely gave her away to a neighboring kingdom because they didn't want Elsa to get hurt again. I mean, they didn't want Elsa to get hurt, so it makes more sense. And if you look in the movie, they did go to Elsa's ceremony. Elsa's powers are also like kind of the opposite of Rapunzel's, because Rapunzel's power is to heal people, while hers is kind of to like destroy, I guess. It's kind of, because like that's just what she did in the whole entire movie. And Rapunzel did the opposite of that. And that flower thingy-majiggy that gave Rapunzel her powers, it could have done the opposite with her sister, Elsa. So this whole theory, it actually makes quite a lot of sense. And the next one that's similar to this one is that Anna is Tarzan's sister. Now, I know that this might seem kind of random because it's like Tarzan of all people, like, but this will make a lot more sense when I explain it. So, that scene where Anna's parents are on the boat and that boat is like, crashing down and it's like, oh no, they die. That scene, right? In Tarzan, that same exact scene also happens, if you didn't know. And also, there was a boat that the two parents went on, and the parents look very similar to Anna and Elsa's, well, Anna's parent. And they went on that boat, and we all know how they got washed up on shore and stuff like that, and then they were living in the jungle and they had a baby. Like, we all know how the beginning of that movie goes. But if you really think about it that way, it actually makes a lot of sense. And they both have similar hair, like colors, so it also makes a bit more sense. And like, they actually look like each other because, like, we all know that Elsa looks she's the different child, okay? The next theory is You know the ship that Ariel found in The Little Mermaid? Yeah, that is most likely the same ship that was in Frozen. You want to know why? You like the geography, it makes sense, and also since the ship sank, it makes more sense that Ariel was the one to find it, because I mean, like they're like the kingdoms are next to each other, and she found them, so so it makes sense. And I don't know if you guys saw The Little Mermaid 2, but at the beginning of that movie, I remember that Ariel's mom got like killed by a boat, and everyone's saying that it's Captain Hook's boat, because I mean, like, why else would they be so afraid of spiders? What? Pirates? People, humans, yeah, like the outside world, because it was Captain Hook. Yeah, so they think it was Captain Hook. And it makes sense. I mean, Ariel's dad was like pretty paranoid and didn't want her to hang around people anymore, because he's like, you're gonna die just like your mom. And no father, a good father, wants that for their child. Remember that scene in Peter Pan? Like with the three mermaids together, and there was one with the red hair. Yeah, everyone's saying that is most likely Ariel's mom. Like, there's a YouTuber that explains it better than I do, because like I don't really do types of videos. I mean, I never did. Like, this is my first time, but like, there's just this. I'll play a snippet from her video here.
Be Ariel's mother. Now, as you see here, has red hair and a blue bottom. Very, very similar looking character to Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Another thing that's worth pointing out is in the 2008 Little Mermaid prequel, which is called Little Mermaid Ariel's Beginning, we actually saw what her mother looks like. Her mother was briefly in the beginning of that movie before she was sadly killed off by pirates, which we'll get to a little bit later in this theory. But as you can see, it's very similar to the character we see in Peter Pan. Red hair, blue fins. She does wear jewelry, but that could be because she married into royalty, so that could explain why she wears jewelry now. Very, very similar characters, and the timeline kind of adds up here for the age here, if you kind of think about it, because she was supposed to be 16 in the original Peter Pan. And again, if we take a closer look at how she looks compared to Ariel when they're both 16, that is, on the left, we are seeing what is allegedly Athena at 16 in Peter Pan, and on the right, we are seeing Ariel at 16 in The Little Mermaid, and they look very, very similar shades of blue, also very similar shades of red. Facial features are kind of the same, red lipstick, and of course, very, very similar character models. Oh, like I said, the dates of this theory add up. Let's take a look at the dates of the movie's debut. Now, The Little Mermaid was released in 1989, and Ariel, like I said earlier, was 16 in this movie. That would put her birth year around 1973. Now, if you match that up with when Peter Pan was released in 1953, and we put the mermaid in that movie around roughly 16 herself, that would make the mother character of this around 36 years old when Ariel was born, which is not a very uncommon age for people to be birthing children. And like I said earlier in this theory, but I'll have to restate this, we never actually learned the name of any of these mermaids from Peter Pan. They are just characters. They don't have specific names. They're just called mermaids, and we don't learn their names. So that makes this whole theory very, very possible. And our next piece of evidence is even better. Like I said earlier in this theory, we're going to go back to a pirate theme about Captain Hook coming out. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. So now in the 2008 prequel, we see Ariel's mother killed by pirates. And if we go back to the Peter Pan movie, if you look at it, what was the only problem for the mermaids, the only problem they had the entire movie? It was Captain Hook. Captain Hook.
And I know that our last theory was about Tarzan, but Jane from Tarzan is actually Belle's granddaughter. And it makes sense because those teacups she carries? It's the same exact teacup that Belle carries, except they're kind of like messed up because they're old. They're old. They were passed down from Belle to her. And speaking of Belle, the book that Belle describes at the beginning of the movie is actually Aladdin. I know, that's what she's describing. It's so cool. Yeah, that's the book that she's describing at the beginning of the story. And this one is gonna be completely like so random, but Boo from Monsters Inc. is the witch from Brave. And I know that you guys are gonna be like, what the heck? But like, just hear me out on this one. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but in the Monsters Inc., like, I mean, in Brave, the witch, like, in her home, like, she has this carved out thing of Sully, you know, that blue monster that I was with her. That is in, like, the witch's place. Okay, people are like, whoa, how did that happen? And that also connects to the whole Pixar theory, which I am not gonna get into that, because that is like the longest theory that I know of that comes like when it comes to Disney. That's like the longest one I know. And I'll just put like links, you know, just so you guys can check that theory out. But it explains it a lot better than I do. I really don't know what's the point of this video, but I just want to put something out there. Sorry if this was a bit lackluster. I don't know, I was just bored and I just decided to make it. So yeah, I just really didn't have anything else to do, and I just really wanted to make this video. But I have another video that I'm working much harder on, so I hope you like that one a lot better, because I put more effort into that one. So yeah, this is a real goodbye, like bye, like for real, like bye.
You were the clock that was ticking in my home. Changed my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Love so hard to find.
we got him.